Hey, what's up, y'all? This is the Hoops Guru with Beat Street Sports Blast. We're sticking with the Atlantic Division and we're talking about the Toronto Raptors today. Now, the Toronto Raptors had come off their best season in the history of their organization last year. They made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals and took the reigning champion Cleveland Cavaliers to 6 games. Now, going into the 2016-17 season, what does all that success from last year translate as? We don't know for sure because this team has made some changes, and I don't think these are progressive changes. I think they're recessive changes. So those 56 wins last year, I don't think they're going to be mimicked. There'll definitely be a team in the Eastern Conference that should make it to the second round, a top 14 that at least has home court advantage in the first round. With that being said, let's talk about this team, how they're set up, and see where we think we'll end up at the end of the season. Now, this team was a very good offensive team last year. They were 15th in the league, is ranked as far as field goal percentage is concerned, overall field goal percentage. But what was better is that they were fourth in the league when it actually comes to three-point shooting, a little bit over 37%. And they were actually 11th overall in total scoring. So there's not a problem with them getting up and down the court and putting the ball in the basket. And a lot of that scoring lies on the shoulders of all-stars Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan. But on the defensive side, things are a little bit shakier there, especially with the departure of Bismack Biyombo. They were 16th ranked in the league last year in rebounding. With his departure, we should see that go down a bit because he was a monster. He was kind of their modern day Ben Wallace, and he parlayed that role into a big contract for the Orlando Magic, something we'll discuss later on in another video. So now that this team going through that, what do these changes mean? We know right now that Luis Scola left. He went to Brooklyn. So in the four position, you have Jared Sullinger and Patrick Patterson vying for that spot. Hopefully, I think the spot should go to Patrick Patterson. He's a better shooter from range, more mobile, and a better rebound. I think he can play pick and roll defense a lot better than Jared Sullinger. I think Jared Sullinger will be terrific in the second unit. You could use him as a scorer, a go-to guy in that regard, but he's playing against more second team talent as opposed to playing starting and all-star caliber fours in this league. So I think that'll be a good move for them if they bring Jared Sullinger off the bench and allow Patrick Patterson to have that starting power forward role. Now, let's also talk about another person on their bench, Terrence Ross. Terrence Ross used to be a starting shooting guard, small forward for this team until DeMarre Carroll came with the big bucks and took his spot. DeMarre Carroll this year should be healthy the whole season, which should really play dividends. He got hurt at the end of this his last season with the Atlanta Hawks and kind of spent the bulk of last year just trying to get back to what parlayed him to get that big contract. So now that he's healthy at the beginning of the season, I think they'll see a better, more active on the defensive side, DeMarre Carroll, and hopefully that shooting touch stay with him all year, and that should definitely prove dividends. But let's also talk about Valanciunas. With Bismack Biyombo gone, I like Valanciunas. I think he's a quality big. I think he might need to lose a little bit more weight so he's a little more amped up with his motor. He's kind of trots a little bit, let's say, going up and down the court. And I would like a little more energy from him, a little higher motor, and also to stay healthy. But I love his post game, and I love his size. I think he's a valuable center. No team would be disappointed having him as their starting center. But I need more for him. I need him to be thinking about being an all-star, being thought of higher as a higher regard than a center like Brook Lopez. And I think he has the talent to do so, but he has to stay healthy. And there's also another thing with this team, too, that may be interesting and may have this team backslide just a little bit, is that we all know that DeMar DeRozan got the big payday. Kyle Lowry already said before this season even started that he's going to opt out of his contract, which to me says that he's looking for a payday, too. What I'm interested in is that will Kyle Lowry let his ambitions for a big payday supersede the success of the team? Hopefully not. Hopefully he uses that as fuel to have this team push further than where they went last year, which was 2 wins away from the NBA Finals. But unfortunately, I don't think this team's going to win the Atlantic Division at all. I think this team is going to have to fight the whole year against the Boston Celtics when that Atlantic Division title is all said and done. Because you have Boston, who's made improvements. The New York Knicks are better. You have to think the Chicago Bulls are going to be a better team with the additions they have. The Washington Wizards are going to be a tad bit better with Markieff Morris there for the whole season, and even the Milwaukee Bucks. And I think these are teams that are just going to have, they're going to have to pull wins from somebody else. And I think Toronto's going to be one of those teams that may get a little bit of those wins they had last year taken back from them with some teams that are a little bit stronger. With that being said, I think that this team's going to win anywhere between 49 games and 52 wins, which is nothing to sneeze at, which is a very successful season for sure. But I just don't think they're going to be that 56-win team. I think they may come in second in the Atlantic Division with behind Boston, who may eke them out by a game or two, or but if this team does win the division, I wouldn't be surprised or embarrassed because they're definitely talented enough to do so. But I think that's going to be a race that's going to come down to the last few games at the end of the regular season, and it could be the difference between having a second seed and having a fourth seed as far as the NBA playoff rankings are concerned. But I like this team a lot. I like their bench. I like the Corey Joseph. I love the signing of Van Fleet out of Wichita State as a third guard. So if someone goes down, there's still quality point guards behind them. And Norman Powell, I think he's going to play a big role this year behind DeMar DeRozan. He's proven positive at the end of last season. I think this year they're going to trust in him more, and he's actually going to be a heavy part of that team's rotation. So that's all I have for the Toronto Raptors. Like I said, I'm thinking they'll be second in their division, maybe third all in the Eastern Conference. They're going to have a very strong season. If they wind up being higher than that, it shouldn't be an anomaly or anybody shouldn't freak out or anything because this is a quality team, one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. So thank you for watching. Hey, please subscribe to our channel and leave some comments if you have any insight of what you think about the Toronto Raptors as opposed to what I say. Share your thoughts. I'd be happy to know. Again, keep checking in. We're going to have more videos for every team in the Eastern Conference. This is the Hoops Guru for Beachy Sports Blast. Keep watching. I'll keep talking. Peace.